Well, hello everybody, and welcome to March is Brunch and Learn series. Hard to believe we've made it to March, 3 months into the year already. So as you can see, sitting on the screen right now, you should be seeing the Curriculum Brunch and Learn series course, which is in Brightspace. And just a quick refresher here. Remember, you can go back and watch any of these monthly series. Each month is filled with just so much information, different topics, resources. So I encourage you to check those out. We have them again for each month of the school year here. And so for today's session, we're going to be going into March. And once you watch the video today, you will see the session resources that will be available to you. Right now I have them hidden, but I will make those available as soon as we finish this recording. And so you'll be able to access those. It'll include that PowerPoint. And then at the conclusion will be the survey. So please remember to always do the surveys. That'll get you your certificate of participation, certificate of completion, depending on the course that you're doing. Okay, so we have an exciting topic today. This is one we just got through with our Spring Institute, and I did a session on this, and it's really neat. I'm no expert by any means on this topic. I have learned a lot over the course of the year, and I learned a lot in my own session. We just had people of all skill level in there, people that had heard of AI, which is our topic for the day, artificial intelligence, people that had never heard of AI. And so it was really neat just to collaborate and just get some different ideas on how to use it in the classroom. So let's begin. Let me pull up the PowerPoint here. And I am going to turn my video off just so there's no drag or anything as we do the presentation. I do at the conclusion of the presentation, I want to take us to ChatGPT and just kind of walk you through just a few additional examples. So hopefully you'll stick with me through that. And as always, I will make sure you have my email and Jennifer Cawley's email. So you can reach out to us at any point in time. All right, so let's see. All right, okay. There we go. All right, so again, today, March Brunch and Learn session. We are going to be talking about using ChatGPT in the classroom. We're going to explore some different strategies, some different ways that some teachers have utilized it. And hopefully you will come away after today with at least one strategy that you can employ in your classrooms. So. All right, so I kind of went ahead through this. Before we really jump into ChatGPT, I do want to pause and just do a quick little overview of just what is artificial intelligence. So again, I told you for the Spring Institute, I did a session on artificial intelligence, and particularly I kind of emphasized ChatGPT. And it was amazing to me. I did not realize there's a lot of different functions of AI. And it's all around us, like things that I hadn't even considered was part of the AI environment. It's part of it. So AI, artificial intelligence, is computer systems that are capable of performing tasks that we typically generalize as requiring some form of human intelligence. It's doing something, we are programming it to do a human task. So for example, learning from experience, recognizing patterns, making decisions, and solving problems. So you see a couple of pictures here on the screen, chatbots, virtual robots. These are all over the place. Any site we go to pretty much nowadays has like one of these chatbots or these virtual assistants that are attached to it. I mean, Khan Academy has one now. GED chat is, automated for AI. So we see these chatbots everywhere. All right. And then the second picture there, a Tesla. I don't have a Tesla, but these self-driving cars, okay, that's artificial intelligence. So that's becoming ever more apparent in our society. And then that was facial recognition, security softwares that I know the Apple phones have. We're starting to see more and more of that. So that's artificial intelligence. Another couple examples, one that I can think of that I've utilized on my phone, if I have an Android, but if you take a picture, there is what's called Google Lens in the gallery setting. So you go to that picture and then you'll see in the upper right-hand corner is generally a little, it looks like an eyeball. And you'll click on that. And what Google Lens does is it then pulls up, if it's a flower, it'll pull up kind of what that flower is, other pictures from the internet, and help you kind of narrow down like, oh, okay, that's what I'm looking at. So you can utilize that. We've seen, these picture formatting softwares with artificial intelligence. These, they'll make your profile picture. You gather together all these different pictures and you upload them in this app, and then it generates a plethora of different pictures for you. So that's artificial intelligence as well. All right. So again, it's all around us. So the tool I want to highlight today, and it's something that's becoming ever so more useful, I find, in my everyday teaching experiences. So ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a natural language processing chatbot. So it's driven by a generative AI technology. And what it allows the user to do is have human-like conversations. You can ask it questions. You can ask it to create certain products for you. You can debate with it back and forth. And I'm going to show you some of these cool little tools here in just a minute. ChatGPT, this AI tool, can answer questions. It can assist you with tasks. It can compose emails, essays, code, etc. It's a powerful tool that can enhance learning experiences for both adult learners and teachers. It really, really can help, one, cut down on a lot of time. It just saves us some of those time-consuming tasks that we have to do. But I think the biggest draw for me is that I can individualize products for my students. I can create customized lessons. I can really narrow down. So looking at their TABE reports, looking at their GED ready reports, I can see, where they're struggling. And then I can go to ChatGPT and just make that worksheet just really narrowed down to what they need. So it's really neat little tool. So let's look at some things here. And again, kind of jumped ahead, but benefits of using ChatGPT for adult learners: improved access to those personalized learning resources. That's me all day long. That's what I love it for. But it can also create interactive, engaging learning experiences. So when we draw a blank sometimes in education, we think, gosh, what else could I do? This tool will help you kind of think of these outside of the box things to utilize in your classroom. The other nice thing, 24/7 availability. So you can access this. There's a Chrome extension, there's a website, and there's also, I will say, and I'll highlight it at the end, but some districts are blocking ChatGPT. I will say that, depending on district devices. There are a couple other alternatives that you can use besides ChatGPT that really do the same thing. So I can show you some of that. And then also with ChatGPT, you get instant feedback and guidance. There's a paid subscription. The format that I use is the free program. I've never had issues with it, and it is quick. I'm going to show you these. I will say there are some benefits to the paid version. There was a individual in the Spring Institute session, and she highlighted that with the paid version, I believe it's $20 a month, you can upload documents. So instead of having to copy paste certain things, you can just upload that document, and then it can make some edits for you there. You can also save your searches. Kind of create a cloud-based storage unit there. And you're supposed to kind of have the priority. So if everybody in your building is utilizing ChatGPT, it can become a little bit slow in processing. And so those paid users kind of get that one up there. So. All right, and we've already said it, but benefits of using ChatGPT for teachers. I think what you're going to see: assistance in lesson planning, content creation, grading and assessment. So I'll show you a way. I've had a student, they wrote an essay on the GED Ready. And of course, we know the GED Ready does not score those essays. They provide that essay back to you, the user, and then you're, as a teacher, you kind of make those edits and give your student feedback on that. Well, you can put that essay into ChatGPT along with the GED rubric, and it will provide you some additional feedback. In addition, ChatGPT also provides support in addressing individual student needs, and it can enhance classroom discussions and participation. All right, so before I get into some of the strategies, I want to just pause for just a second and tell you about accessing ChatGPT, because I'm about to show you some ways that it's utilized in the classroom. But before I do, let me just pause and let's make sure everybody can get there. So accessing ChatGPT in your web browser, you're going to navigate to ChatGPT by entering the following. You can just do the Google search ChatGPT and it will probably be the first website that pops up, and you can click on that. The website, the actual URL is listed though, under number 1. And I'm going to switch tabs and go to that in just a second. If you've never utilized ChatGPT, you do have to create an account. Again, you can create a free account. You would click the sign up button. I'm going to show you that too. And you just simply follow the steps. It's pretty straightforward. It does make you do the email verification. So you put your email address in that you want to utilize for the account, and then it's going to send you an email, and you have to go check that email and verify that email prior to going any further with ChatGPT. So sometimes that's the biggest struggle, is then logging into your email to get that verification email. But once you've done that, you have your account set up, you will see what looks like the screen below here, and you can begin chatting away, creating and discovering all sorts of new things. So let me just switch tabs here real quick. Again, this is the ChatGPT screen that you see. And here's the website again. All right. If you don't have an account, you would click sign up. You can utilize your Google account, your Microsoft account, or use a different email account, but you'd click there, and then it would take you to another screen to include name and so forth and so on. But very, very simple process there, very straightforward. Once you have your account established, then of course, then you would just log in. And I'm going to log in here. Okay, and so this is the screen I was telling you about. This is kind of the home screen that you'll see once you're logged in to ChatGPT. Right down here, this is where you just type. You type whatever you're desiring to learn more about. They give you some suggestions here. Over here on the left-hand side, you kind of have your chats that you have done in the past. It kind of keeps a record there for you. I will say, I don't pay for the subscription, so I have noticed sometimes it doesn't include all of my chats. So I'm not sure they've gotten lost or whatnot. So I think with the paid version, it would all be there. But yeah, so that's right there. But again, you can type anything. Let's see, whose birthday is celebrated? I can't type and be there. Celebrated on March 14th. And it gives you just this quick little overview. And it identified one person. Say, I want more. Can you name more people? Very friendly. Certainly, March 14th is the birthday of various notable individuals, and it goes forth. So again, that's kind of the basic function of ChatGPT. Now let's go back and see how ChatGPT is utilized in the classroom. "12 strategies for using ChatGPT in the classroom." So the first way I want to talk about is simply using it as a smarter search engine. What I just typed in, whose birthday is on March 14th, I could have done a Google search, no doubt. And I would have got 20 different websites on page 1 of my Google sheet there. And I would have clicked through and found different things. And that's all great. But you can kind of utilize ChatGPT just to kind of minimize all that extra clicking through different websites and trying to navigate through exactly what you want. So this is just one example of using it as a smarter search engine. I know I can go to GED.com and I can pull the educator assessment guide. I just simply asked ChatGPT, what type of questions are on the GED social studies and how long is the test? And you can see this was just, it gave me a whole long, much more compiled list here. I only did the screenshot of the one section. So it kind of gave me the overview, and then further down, that's not included on this, it did give me the length of time for the test as well. So the smarter search engine, well, it could be first. The second strategy that you can utilize ChatGPT for in the classroom is to generate reading passages. And this is where I get the most bang for my buck, I think. We know in our classrooms that we have a variety of skill level. I know some of us teach, just the lower TABE. Some of us teach the higher end TABE. Some just teach GED math or GED science. But still, we know the skill level can be quite different amongst different students. It can depend on the day too, I think. So this is using it to create reading passages. I asked ChatGPT, write a passage that is similar to ones found on the TABE M level test. And you can see it did that. Certainly here's a passage similar to what you'll find. The Industrial Revolution, which began in Britain in the late 18th century, and it went on and on. And so you can see with the arrow too, there's more there. So this was really, really neat. This is awesome. I have a bookshelf of GED books from Kaplan to McGraw to Steck Vaughn. We utilize different software programs at my facility, but this is also just neat when I need something that I can, spark the interest of a student. What I'm going to show you too in just a minute is creating different questions utilizing this. I could have told it here with this reading passage, write a passage that is similar to ones found on the TABE M level test, but about automotive or about the automotive industry. So you can really customize it to what you need. All right, so that's generating those reading passages. So going off of that, I can also get review questions to check for understanding. Now, I put in this one, review questions on finding the error in a scientific study. This is a relatively new topic that I'm seeing come up on some school reports in science, identifying the error in a scientific investigation. And so I don't have a lot of material that I can think of that really I can formulate questions around. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Now, here are just a few. I wanted to put these on the screen for you, but I will say what I normally do when I generate questions like this, I'll ask it to generate multiple choice style questions, just because I know generally with testing, whether it's TABE, WIN, or GED, that's the traditional way students are going to see those questions. Again, I know there's some variation, but generally I think the large majority is multiple choice. But you can customize it. So review questions on finding the error in a scientific study, fill in the blank, or you could do short answer, however you wanted to do it. All right. Another strategy for using ChatGPT in the classroom, teaching vocabulary. The one I have here is math. Math is generally the last subject that my students try to tackle. We try to get those more the reading tests, the reading, the social studies, and science out of the way first, because math is usually the struggle. But I tell students, you're still going to have to read on the math test. There's still word problems, and the questions will ask different vocabulary terms that are seen in math. So they still got to know those terms. So teaching vocabulary, I asked ChatGPT, create flashcards for key terms and ideas students see on the GED math test. And then it gave me this list of different terms that they're going to have to see. So I could then take that to a Word document and, print those out as if they were flashcards. I could, erase some of the definitions and just have my students write in the definitions. There's a number of different things you can do, but it generated that list for me there. And remember, I can ask it to create a worksheet on math GED key terms for students. All right, so this is another really neat one. This is more on the administrative side, I guess you would say, but writing notes or letters to students. So every now and then, we have to, generate a letter, maybe about graduation, upcoming graduation. Hey, we want to invite you back to celebrate. And sometimes for me, I know it's just hard getting started. I just need a help on getting started on the writing process. So I asked ChatGPT here, write a letter to students to inform them of the upcoming spring break holiday, April 1st to the 14th. And then it generated this beautiful letter for me. Now, I will take this letter, I will copy and paste the content that ChatGPT gave me. I will then put it in a Word doc, and then I will go in and, edit for my own liking and, kind of change some things around there. But it's a great starter for me. I know at the high school level, I have friends that are using it for student recommendations. It's a big thing that they're doing it for. And again, they're writing into ChatGPT, write a letter of recommendation for a student who has a 3.0, who's involved in beta club, and list all the clubs so that the recommendation letter is really customized to that one student. All right, you can also get ChatGPT to provide you examples. So I love using Aztec Flash for the questions that it generates to get students prepared for the GED. One thing that I know my students struggle with on Flash in that grammar section is parallel structure. And I can't really manipulate Flash just to quiz me on parallel structure. So I may go to ChatGPT and I say, examples of parallel structure. And then it generates this. And then I may say, provide a worksheet or provide questions, multiple choice style questions on parallel structure. So that way my students in Aztec Flash, they're working through their problems. I notice that is a struggle. Hey, stop for a minute. Let's look at this. Let's read through these examples that ChatGPT has just generated for us. And now let's try some more of these questions. So I kind of compare this. In my program, we also utilize IXL, and IXL is a really neat program that I think practices skill-based. You can find pretty much any skill that you need. So parallel structure is one of the lessons in there. But the problem is not all programs have IXL, and it can get a little expensive. And sometimes IXL even, it's not exactly the way I want it. It's not exactly worded as the test, or it's not in the same format or the structure that I like. So I'll come here and I'll just ask them for examples, ChatGPT that is. All right, next. This is another golden nugget I feel with ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to generate lesson plans. So ChatGPT, I said, create lesson plans for teaching TABE language to E-level students. And you can see, and again, this is just the first part of the lesson plan here. But lesson plan 1, introduction to basic vocabulary, provided me an objective, it provided me materials needed, and then it went on. You can't see it because it's cut off here, but lesson procedure. And it outlined a beautiful lesson on teaching TABE language E to those level students. So this is really, really neat. Again, you may not like it. You may say, I don't like that lesson. So you simply ask ChatGPT, can you generate an alternative lesson or generate another lesson? And it will. So this is pretty neat as well. All right, another strategy, I lost the number that we're on, but another strategy to utilize with ChatGPT is it can find ways to help struggling students. So no secret, I think in adult education, we are seeing a growing number of IEP students, those young students, 17 to 21, who are coming to us and with IEPs. And so they're struggling academically. I know for me personally, I have a lot of students that struggle with test anxiety. So I asked ChatGPT, can you provide me with strategies to help students struggling with test anxiety? And it kind of gave us this little breakdown. And then I can pick and choose which ones I would like to try with my students. I honestly, now I'm sitting there thinking, I probably could even narrow down the search IEP strategies to help adult learner students struggling with test anxiety, because we may get a little bit of a variation there. I think too, just to highlight here real quick, with ChatGPT, the more specific you can be in your chat, the the better the result. And that's sometimes the hardest part is just typing in. I know what I want, it's in my head, but now I've got to put it into words so I can tell ChatGPT what I want it to generate. So that can sometimes be a little bit of a struggle. All right, another thing you could utilize ChatGPT for is to create scripts. This one's script for explaining why a student is not ready to take a GED ready. This one, I'll be honest, I haven't utilized a whole lot. But when I was creating this, I was thinking like, well, maybe there's programs that, you want a uniform approach to how you address or how you say certain things. And so this could be one way if you wanted to explain to students why um, there's a no cell phone policy or, whatever the thing may be. You could generate the script and then you could distribute it amongst all the teachers and support staff. And hey, everybody, we're on the same page. This is kind of the verbiage that we want to use when we're addressing these situations. So again, it will create these scripts for you. All right, you can also ask ChatGPT to make a list. So very similar to teaching that vocabulary, but I just put in here a list of common terms students will see when taking the GED science test. And then it kind of pulled out some of those key things. And I know those first few are very, very important on there. So you can have a make list. All right. In addition, this one's pretty neat. You can debate topics with ChatGPT. So this one's kind of cool. Sometimes at the end of class, when we have some more, just some time at the end, my students and I will get in there and play with it. And they love going back and forth with the chat bot, the ChatGPT bot. So this was one topic I put in. I believe this is a writing prompt that's provided with the GED writing, but should cell phones be given to kids? And then ChatGPT generated this first the question of whether cell phones should be given to kids is complex and multifaceted. And then they provided arguments in favor underneath here that you can't see, but if we were able to scroll down, it provided arguments against. So then I'd have my students kind of reading there and I'd say, all right, so what's some pieces of evidence that we can pull from some of these? Or we may even put back into ChatGPT. You can see here, don't cell phones serve as a distractor? Because me as a teacher, that's what I'm telling my students. And of course, they're like, no, I'm listening to the music. But I would ask ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT says. So they enjoy this too as well. And I think it's just kind of neat, even if it's just for fun at the end of class, some of these concepts, and when we talk about debating, we know our students are going to see that. Arguments, that's a key word on the GED. So teaching them what arguments in favor are about, arguments against. These are just terms and concepts that they're going to be seeing on these tests. So it's important to kind of show them how those are set up. All right, another strategy for utilizing ChatGPT in the classroom is asking for writing edits and suggestions. So this is the one I was kind of referenced earlier with my student in her writing piece on that GED Ready. So I put in here, using the GED extended response rubric, critique my writing. And I just gave you the little, she only put like 2 sentences, excuse me, she put a longer thing, but I only copied over 2 sentences so I could show you more of the screen. But what I did for her, I went to her GED Ready report and I simply copy and pasted what she had written, which is at the bottom of that score report. And I pasted it into ChatGPT. So again, I cut it short here just because I wanted to show you more of the screen. But you can see ChatGPT said, yes, of course. And so here they provided content and analysis of her writing. And so I was able to kind of say like, hey, here's what ChatGPT says. Let's look through and let's understand what they're talking about. It kind of made me not so much the bad guy. Like, hey, we've got a lot of work here. This is kind of what, they're generating here that we need to work on. So that's kind of neat to utilize as well. All right, so those were the 12 strategies for utilizing ChatGPT. I want to show you one example that myself and Jennifer have been working on, and it was our Women's History Month project. So I'm going to take us to that. Okay, so when Jennifer and I sat down, we were sitting here thinking, we're like, well, we want to expose our students to, of course, the historical concepts, so what they'll see on the social studies test, but we also want to incorporate reading and science and math, and of course, the reading is going to be infused with the social studies very heavily. But what we did was for the month of March, we found several notable figures in history of female scientists, of female athletes, of female entrepreneurs, so forth and so on. The list goes on. So we asked ChatGPT to create a short biographical summary and overview of achievements of different individuals. And you can see we have a physicist here. And then what we did was we said, using the passage that you created, make a reading, math, social studies, and science GED style multiple choice question. And so that's what ChatGPT did for us. And you can see, so this is our reading question. Based on the information provided in the passage, which of the following statements best reflects the author's viewpoint regarding Miss Mentor's contributions to the discovery of nuclear fission? And so here the students would kind of work their way through this. Again, after we read aloud this piece right here, all of this was created using ChatGPT. Here is the social studies content question. Right here, give you a second, I'll leave it on the screen. You see I've got a few more edits to make here. The science question, and then the math question. So really, really neat. Like I said, this, I know I've utilized these little quick pieces as just kind of a starter in class. Once my students kind of all get in, we kind of start the day. It's a quick read. I can read it with the students, and then we get 4 quick little short answers to kind of go through. I mean, it doesn't take long, but it gets everybody awake. And again, it exposes everyone to the different content subtests that they're going to see on that GED. And I'm just going to scroll so you can see. Again, I think there was a total of 16 women that we highlighted in this document. And this document's going to be included in the Brunch and Learn as part of the resources. So when the answers are down here at the bottom. All right. So let me come over to ChatGPT. I think you've kind of seen through the strategies, different ways you can ask ChatGPT to generate different topics, different tools that you can utilize in your classroom. But I'm going to do a couple examples. Again, I'm logged in here to ChatGPT because I want to show you the full screen once it generates the full document that you've asked it to create. So I know I have a student today. She is struggling with independent and dependent variables. It's a concept that's just, it's a hard concept for her. So I may come to ChatGPT and I may say, create GED style multiple choice questions dealing with independent and dependent variables. All right. And you can see, again, it's pretty quick. And this is generally, for me, this is how quick it usually is. So really, really nice feature here. But you can see the questions. Scientists is conducting an experiment to investigate the effect of different water amounts of fertilizer on plant growth. Which of the following is the independent variable? All right, and then it provides the answer there. Now, what I would do with this, again, I would copy, just highlight the whole document here. I would do you can do the right-click copy, you can do the Control-C. Now, what I do at this point is I come down to Word, and let me get a new document opened here. All right. Now, let me just say, and I know there's a couple ways someone was trying to show me at the Spring Institute. If you do a Control-V and you just paste your ChatGPT chat right there, you are going to get some formatting, a little bit of a different format here, and you may not like that screen. So I would encourage you, I'm going to delete that, undo that paste. And again, I use Microsoft Word. We're a Microsoft school district, but Google, like, it would work the same way. But instead of doing the Control V, I do the right click. So my menu pops up here. And I don't want to keep source formatting. I don't want to keep what they have in ChatGPT. I'm going to do the merge formatting. So it merges into whatever I already have previously set into Word. Okay. And to me, this is much, much easier to kind of work with. So I can, cut that and put that at the bottom, however you wanted to do it. But that way you can then manipulate this so-called worksheet that was created. The other nice feature with ChatGPT, so let me go back there. I can ask it, say we did these 5 questions and she's starting to get it, but it's still a little bit of a struggle. I may say, can you provide additional questions? And ChatGPT will generate some more questions for you. Okay. You could also specify in your original chat, produce 10 questions, produce 20, however many you wanted it to produce. The other nice thing with this, and I'm just, again, using the same topic here, maybe I want to make it a little bit more rigorous. So I say, can you make these questions harder? And it's supposed to, kind of beef up, so to say, the question. You could also say, can you make the questions a little easier? You could say, can you make the questions, can you provide more of the experiment, or can you provide more of a passage with each question? So again, the possibilities are endless here, how you want to formulate your different chats. Okay. So that's just one way. Again, I've utilized this week because this has been a struggle. This independent and dependent variable has just been a struggle with my students. So I'm trying to think of another. I use it for so much. Again, I use it a lot now for my Google searches. It's just to the point, and I can get a more of a direct answer than sometimes having to go all around and everything. But again, if you wanted to create a lesson for ADHD student, yes, on work ready math skills. And you can see it's populating the objective, the introduction, a warm activity, and then different tools that I can use in class with those students. All right. Also, say you wanted to slope. I mean, I know we generally think of just including like reading style questions or those key concepts, but I can ask it, can you provide slope math questions? And you can see, so it works with math as well. All right, so come back over here. All right, so just in conclusion here, ChatGPT, I think it could be a wonderful tool that you can utilize in your classroom, can really create those individualized learning plans for our students, potentially create more engaging lessons. Very valuable tool that can, again, enhance the learning experience. I will say this, one thing I did not include in this presentation, of course, there are always drawbacks. And so as teachers, one thing I would tell you with ChatGPT, you do have to kind of look at your the answers that are generated. ChatGPT seems to love the answer C or B if you're doing multiple choice. So you may want to go in there and just make sure they're not all C, make sure they're not all B. We also, of course, need to go in and double check the content that's being presented there. That is definitely something, of course, that's any tool that you're using, but something that we have to do on the front end there. And then also, again, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, it's all around us. So our students have access to this as well. And so teaching them when, how to use these tools properly becomes just another topic that we have to address in our classrooms. So just another task that we have there. All right. So again, I appreciate you watching today. And if you have any questions or anything, please email me. My email will be included in the presentation. I'm going to include the handout that has a couple alternatives to ChatGPT if your district is blocking it. So you can try to utilize these different tools as well. One other cool little thing I was going to highlight, and I haven't used it yet, but as I logged into the Zoom session today, I noticed on my Zoom panel, there's a button called AI Companion. So again, Zoom has now got an artificial intelligence piece built into Zoom as well. I'm going to play with that a little more. Hopefully by next month, I'll be able to tell you a little more on that. But yeah, we're going to see artificial intelligence just continue to grow, and it's going to be ever more present. So please check out the resources that will be included underneath this PowerPoint in our March session. And also don't forget to complete the survey. And I appreciate you again, your attendance, and I hope everyone has a great month. Bye.